Hi everyone, we're joined today by Amrita Lal, who is the youth coordinator at Flying Labs, and she's going to talk to us about how it's like to work with drone technology.
Hi everyone, as Rupali mentioned, my name is Amrita Lal and I am a Fijian of Indian descent from the Fiji Islands in the South Pacific. I started working with drones late 2017, and I wouldn't say that that was the main reason why I got into my field. My background is actually in geospatial science and geography. So when I started out, drones were just being integrated into my bachelor's program. So I guess everything lined up, and I actually haven't looked back ever since. And I'm actually grateful for the place where I've started to come up to.
Okay, thank you for that introduction. You've done a lot of interesting things. So can you tell us why you were inspired to start working with drones at the Flying Labs?
How do I say this? So when we started the Flying Labs, we started with mini projects where we were trying to introduce STEM to young girls, particularly young girls, but we had programs for boys as well, where we were trying to introduce these and show them the many advantages and many applications that are out there. So I guess the inspiration come pretty much naturally because I don't know if anybody gets their hands on a drone. It's a cool toy. It's an interesting toy. And for my field, it was very, very useful as well. We did a lot of mapping with it. And yeah, I guess that's how it began. And just a little story to add to that. The first time I ever held a drone, I crashed it. And then I did not pick up one for another 6 months. So I guess it took a while to get to actually liking it.
That's a good story. Thank you for sharing that with us. And so whom do you consider an inspiration in your field?
Yes, so there's not one person. I wouldn't say one person, because we have a lot of women back home who are pioneers in my industry in the field of geospatial science. And I've been meeting up with them. Right now, I'm actually in Bangalore, but when I was back home, I got the chance to meet a couple of them, and it has been a little, how do I say this? Once you meet someone, you get inspired by the way they talk, by the way they do their things, by the way they hold themselves. So I wouldn't attribute all of this to one person. I feel like the women back home have been the main reason why I'm in this field and the main reason why I've been pushing through.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, we've seen robots on the ISS, dancing robots, soft robots, and more. Where do you think robotics will go next?
That's a good question. I'm hoping it branches out more in the field of agriculture. So why I say this is because I met a couple of teams back in 2018 in Fiji when I was doing a conference, and I noticed that they were using robots to manage agriculture. And when I say manage agriculture, that might not be the right term, but they were going right from fertilizing to planting to taking out weeds and overall management. So for like a large farm, I feel like that would be really efficient. And I know for sure a lot of universities are into this field, but it's not really mainstream. Something exactly like precision agriculture with drones. You have multispectral cameras, you have RGB sensors, and you have some drones which are actually distributing fertilizer and larvicide to make sure that the food grows well, and then there's no pest or there's no disadvantage or harm to the people around. So you have all these many applications. And what I'm hoping for, I'm not sure if it will go in this direction, but it's looking pretty promising. I'm hoping that this becomes actually large scale.
What advice do you have for young women in technology?
For young women in technology, I would say, if somebody gives you, if somebody tells you that you cannot do something, try to take it as constructive criticism and just move on. Somebody told me when I was 23 that I recently got a really good job, and somebody told me that I was not the right option for this. And I think I dwelled on that for a good chunk of 2 years. And it really pulled me back. So if somebody ever tries to tell you that you can't do something, maybe talk to your friends about it, and yeah, just move on. Don't put your self-esteem in the hands of a total stranger.
Thank you for sharing. That's really great advice for young women. I know a lot of us definitely struggle with just little bits of criticism that we can't get past. So it's helpful to know
Yeah.
to move past it. Yeah. Okay, thank you for coming and joining us and speaking with us today. We learned a lot about your career, and the advice that you gave was really helpful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.